Thursday night is here again, a little after 10:15. The wife's asleep, the children too. That leaves a man with one thing to do. Bring out the laptop, it's time for your date. Settle in and learn your fantasy fate. With a bang, Eddie welcomes you in. He turns his hat, then it's time to begin. The week that was, you might rather forget. Who is the dud and who is the jet? Start the weekend with a dose of the anchor, and laugh your ass off at weekly wanker. Like Federer down at the cots, here's your serve of Thursday thoughts. Like a hobo eating his watts, here's your fill of Thursday thoughts. Like a fat guy putting on shorts, you'll split your sides at Thursday thoughts.
Welcome back for another edition of Thursday Thoughts with Eddie Anchor. I'm your host, Eddie Anchor. I'm freaking pumped for tonight. Finally, a Thursday night off. We can get this show back on track. No more of this Friday Thoughts. We are here. We are live. It is Thursday night. Let's get this shit going. First match of the round, Bunga versus Steve. The crown has slipped a little bit on this year's Golden Boy Steve, which is mildly surprising considering his massive bonks. He's got a head the size of a watermelon. Life certainly won't get any easier for him this week as he takes on Bunga, who is chock full of confidence after dominating and a well-calculated victory over a team on autopilot. Poor old Robbo. Victory celebrations finally managed to string together 2 wins back-to-back for the first time in club history. Good work, Bunga. You must be really proud about that one. There is seriously no winner for anyone in this game because the end result will be one of the 2 most inept coaches in the league sitting on top with 3-0. The public backlash is probably going to be slightly lower if the winner's Steve. So, Godspeed, man. Steve by 15. Now, really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Hang on a second, guys. Don't mind me, just killing spiders. Anyway, the Commish versus Robbo. In a game set to decide who finishes second bottom ahead of Callum. That's right, he's pretty much got it sewn up already. These 2 warriors of years gone by will be throwing masking tape over their team this week in a desperate attempt to snatch 4 points. With Fife and Deledio out for the Commish and Barlow out for Robbo, all of a sudden, this could become a very mediocre battle, if it wasn't going to be already. Yet to post a win, Robbo will be glad for another Charlie Dixon special helping to get him across the line. And once again, Charlie Dixon's done an abductor. I think somebody's abducted his bloody talent, to be perfectly honest. He's been fucking hopeless this year. Due to the irreparable damage done to his team by putting a monkey at the helm, though, I think Robbo will be struggling to win this one. The Commish by 120. Now, here we go. Ben versus Tricky. These 2 have more broken bones between them than a nursing home bus crash. That's right. There have never been 2 more opposite sides of the coin than this clash. One man who only has to think of picking up a player for him to pull up lame. Poor old Tricky's had that many injuries, it's ridiculous. Whereas every time Ben picks up an injured player, all of a sudden he's miraculously cured. He'll be fit a week later. Fit. If only he could work that same magic on himself. Although, to be fair, even without the broken leg, fit was a bit of a stretch when it comes to Ben. Poor old Mick will again put up a valiant effort, but the world is against him again. Ben by 190 now. We're going to move right along to a real top of the table clash. A real couple of snoozers here. Tom versus Matt. Never has there been a more boring build-up to a top 4 clash than this one. The competition is sadly in decline as these 2 personality-bereft coaches offer nothing in the way of entertainment at all. As a match, it looks like shaping up as a cracker, as both of these 2 are early season favourites and they'll be jostling out for top spot. As a spectacle, a few lawn chairs will suffice as seating, I would have thought. Yeah, even then you can afford to toss some advertising over them to cover the costs, a la Port Power. After getting a close-up look at the awesome power of Matt's team though last week, it's hard to toss him, even with a crane. Matt by 60. Now, Hayden versus Callum. Now, we got a bit of a sneak peek into the mind of young Callum this week. Alright, I'll do my best Callum impersonation. Gather round, boys. We need to put together another game plan. Okay, so, last week, didn't quite work out that well, and we've been let down horribly by all 4 of our North Melbourne players in the team. Any ideas, boys? Yeah, you with the Metro beard. I think we need to pick up Levi Greenwood. Doesn't he play for North too? Mate, why not? More the merrier. Let's get another North player into our team. I know if I'm ever drowning in the bath, the first thing I'll do is turn on the tap. That's what we need, more water. That'll help. I can't even comprehend what is going on with this team anymore. Don't be surprised to see a licence up for sale next season for the Thunderdome Fantasy League, because he's really not worthy of it at the moment. Inquire within. Hayden doesn't even get a mention this week. It's hardly even worth it. Hayden by 900 points this week. Move on to Andy versus Chris. The Thunderdome's answer to the Battle of the Bridge, as these two East Coasters will be holding an epic war while swinging hands in their thong speedos on Bondi Beach while sipping on a pineapple juice. While public sex is frowned upon up there, Chris is certainly not impartial to the odd reach around with his fellow New South Welshman. It'll be hard to work out who'll finish on top in this clash. I guess it depends who's feeling dominant at the time. Andy's juggernaut will be looking to beat up on his lesser, some might say, submissive opponent this week. Expect a blowout. Perhaps of the rectal variety. Either way, Andy by 99 points. Now, we move on to what I call another new segment. We're just famous for them here. We just keep rolling them out. Can't seem to find a winning formula here, so we'll just keep moving shit around. Now, it's called Eddie Anger. As you may guess from the name, this is a segment born out of pure frustration at some of the goings on in the world of footy this week. With my sponsors stumping up for a specky new mic, pretty kick-ass, isn't it? It would seem unfair not to give it a cracking workout this week. Now, Eddie Anger. Alright, this is Eddie Anger. This is the shit that's really pissed me off this week. I'll try and keep it calm. I don't really want to blow a gasket on national television. Let's go. First cap off the rank. Nate Fyfe's suspension. What has happened to the game? Because of one poxy little sniper in Lindsay Thomas knocking out Ben Reid last year, all of a sudden, an accidental head contact in a fair contest gets you a sighting? It's a fucking disgrace! I can assure you, he clash was the last thing he was trying to do when he was laying the bump. If I bounce my skull off his when I bump him, surely that'll only hurt him. No, it won't hurt me. We don't want people hurt, but we also don't want the superstars watching from the sidelines. Wait for the day when a person who initiates the hit comes off worse. What next? The bloke who actually gets hit is the one that gets off, and the bloke who freaking was standing there as a bystander is the bloke that gets suspended? Give me a fucking spell. Right. Next. Players playing onto advantage. No greater judge of how hard it is to earn a free kick or take a mark as a full forward is the fantasy football competition. You don't see the big guns picked up early in the draft. It is really, really hard to even get a kick. They've got 6 defenders jumping into them at every opportunity, punching them in the ears, pulling on their shirts, then finally an oasis. Like a cool bottle of Evian in the middle of the Sahara. The whistle blows. An easy shot on goal. Then some little mosquito little bastard swoops in and steals your glory. Piss off, you scabby little bastards, and let the big blokes take their kick. I'd love to see Josh Green steal one more of Jono Brown's and for Brownie just to lift him above his head and tear him in half. And to top it off, if you're going to do it, at least kick the fucking goal! Shane Edwards almost completely fucked it in the dying moments for the Tigers, only to be saved by Vickery, which says a lot about how badly you're travelling if you're saved by Vickery. Now, lastly, and most pointedly, any chance at all of getting the fucking cameras on the goal line? It seems like the only solution is to play the game on the Flemington racetrack and have the goal line set up where the photo finish is taken. It's about the only hope we've got of getting it right. 1 week they had 9,000 different angles, right down to the last micron as the leather crosses the goal line. The next, we've got petrol station CCTV footage in grainy black and white to tell us what the kick was. We can't work out if it's a goal or whether I should be calling Crime Stoppers. Here's how far behind the AFL are. The ABC had cameras on their hats of the umpires 10 years ago in the SANFL. This was before the GoPro or the iPhone. This was a 2 kilo Sony Handycam with a roll of duct tape holding it to the top of their head. Sure, there were unrelated increase in neck injuries, but at least it fucking worked. That's Eddie Anger. Now that was obviously a lot earlier today. As you can see, I'm very calm and very collected. That angry fellow before, he was rather angry. Don't really blame him though. Now, there's not going to be any special guests tonight, but, for all those impartial viewers out there, we've had a few requests. A couple of people who aren't huge fans of the theme song. So, we've put together a couple of really big superstars. We've come up with a couple of ideas for some potential new theme songs for the show. Now, check it out. This is a show that's all about how little 12 grown men act like children now. And Eddie wants a few minutes for grunts and snorts. You're about to laugh your ass off at Thursday thoughts. In West Monopara, the show was raised down at Riverside Cricket. I spent most of my days chilling with Noxie and Brando and BB and training at the nets outside of the school. Then a couple of guys who can't catch very good started dropping catches in my neighborhood. We got in one little fight and we all got scared, and Stormy and Dylan have tits point shared. Another journey to the deli down the road. A pack of chips, a Coke, and 3 dim sims to go. So do the best to make Keefy proud tonight. He's running laps with a gut full of blended shite. It's very much inedible, but practice what you're taught. Sit back, enjoy your Thursday thought. Yo, if you had one show, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, to know about Supercoach, would you capture it or just let it slip? Yo, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, bong is heavy, there's rumors in the league already. Pendlebury, he's nervous, but with a hat on he looks calm, and Eddie will drop bombs. but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The theme song, oh so loud. He opens the closet, demon won't come out. He's choking down. Eddie's eyes are poking out. His cock is out. Open up, boom, blah. Snap back to the lab again. Professor Crab again. He's having another asthma attack again. Thursday thoughts, yo. Was that not something or what? We had Will Smith, we had Green Day, we had Eminem, we gone global. We got some seriously big names just lining up at the door that want to be a part of Thursday Thoughts. Now, next part. Call this segment Eddie's Hero of the Week. Now, this is a bit of a spin on the free agent of the week. Since there's a few fans out there that have nothing to do with the actual Thunderdome Fantasy League, they might be tuning in to look for a sneaky pickup during the week in their own leagues. Fair to say, I've been on fire this year, with Matt Rosa and Steve Caniglio absolutely dominating the last 2 weeks, respectively. It's time to make it 3 on the trot. Now, listen in close, boys. This week's hero is Lockie Neal from Fremantle. With Fife and Barlow out this week, it is time for Lockie Neal to step up into his big boy shoes. He scored big at times last year, and given more opportunity this week, he will deliver in spades. Get on Lockie Neal. Alright. Before we get into the final segment, the show is actually opening up a question and answer segment where you, the viewer, can actually write into the show and get your question read out. No matter how ridiculous or abusive it is, send that shit in. This is 30 episodes of entertainment I've put out. For a change, I wouldn't mind getting some entertainment back. Send in your questions to eddieanchor@gmail.com. That is eddieanchor@gmail.com. Even if you just want to get your name from the highest rating web show hosted in this room, get to it, boys and girls. Alright, now, Eddie Anchor's Weekly Wanker. This week's wanker was one that we probably didn't see coming. Well, I'll correct that. This person didn't see it coming. Everybody else saw it coming a mile away. Even Stevie Wonder saw it coming a mile away. And he just called to say, you wanker. So, what to do with a man outsmarted and outmaneuvered and outwitted by a man with no wits at all? You know what you do with him? Eddie Anchor crowns him the Weekly Wanker, that's what. How could one man not only overestimate a player so much, but trade away 2 players just to get him into his team? As expected, Charlie Dixon has managed to amass a staggering average of 40 over his first 2 games. Here is a player that was within a whisper of being picked in round 2 this year in the draft. For not taking no for an answer and convincing the world's worst trader to please take my good players, I don't want them. This week's wanker is the commissioner. Talk about kicking a man while he's down. Not only is Deledio, Fife and Hearn out of his team, but he gets Eddie Anchor's Weekly Wanker this week, and thoroughly deserved. The only thing going right for his team is that Dixon is out, so now he can't screw him again. That's it. Thursday Thoughts over for another week. See you same time, same place next week. Good night.